Hello everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes.
Talk that talk.
Oh man, it feels so good to be here on a Friday night. I got my boy Reese here on the Facebook live stream. We got my boy Szpond, Al, my boy Brian Szpond, man. Woo! We got a really great show lined up for you today. I'm just really happy to be here, man. I feel like a lot of times in the past couple weeks, it's been a little bit challenging for myself, but, I feel like I just accomplished so much this week and so much positive things to where, at the end of the week, like, I feel very fulfilled. For the first time, I feel like in a long time, man. And I guess maybe that's what a new release will do to you. I had a conversation with my boy Carl before actually in the process of going to pick up the OG6s. But, at first, one of the things that we had talked about was that he said that, at first, he was almost in awe, or, even with myself, I was almost in awe at just the fact that, hey, I got these shirts, or hey, I got this merchandise, and I really did it. And then, as we were talking, Carl pretty much said that, now, that we're on the OG6 and the 6th release, it's almost like it's normal now. And, I can only attribute that to the consistency and the effort that I've had from the resources that's been given to me. And I feel like a lot of times, like I said before, people talk about and people preach about things that they want to do. And, I just pride myself on being someone that likes to put my ideas, put my efforts, put my, thoughts, ideas, and put them into fruition and put them into motion, man. And I can stand before you all today and say that the OG6 has finally released, man. The first ever hoodie to be dropped by the Talk That Talk Show is right here. You're looking at it right now, the OG6. And, the support that I've been able to get on this project, is absolutely incredible. I've talked so many times before about other releases, how, we were able to sell so many shirts and in such a, short span of time. But, I felt like I had to step on a limb a little bit more with these hoodies, because obviously when you, try to go up in higher quality and give different things, money is involved, and things, cost money. And, the fact of the matter is, there was about 15 to 16 people that pre-ordered their hoodies, and, put me at speechless, man, to say that, in a span of 2 hours, we sold over $700 worth of hoodies. That's it just really makes me feel so good inside it, and it really, validates all the things and all the concerns, that I may have had, that they were worth it, man. And to say that, 15 to 16 people believed in me, believed in this show, believed in the vision, and want to rock this OG6, man, it just means the world to me, man. And I thank each and every person who it was that pre-ordered, whether you were Alvin, whether you were my boy Carl, whether you were Jose, whether, anybody else, my boy Carlos. I just want to thank every single person that really supported here on this OG6. We still have, some extra larges left. We still have, some mediums left. But, as far as 2XL, large, small, we are sold out. And I'm just so happy to say that, man. And it really, really has come full circle here. And I'm just happy to be a part of the person that's leading the train here, man. So thank you so much to everybody that supported. Before we get into the show, I want to give a special shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Ink Parlor, who helped me make these incredibly dope OG6s.
Ink Parlor!
Oh, man, I love my boy Timmy Hugel over there. He worked feverishly, even lost power, and still was able to get it, man. So, thank you so much, bro. Also got to give a big shout out to VW Liquors, located in Wick Plaza, Edison, New Jersey. I got a brand new beer that we're going to test today, and I think you guys are going to love it. Also want to give a big shout out to 13 and a Half clothing brand. My boy Angelo's doing big things over there, and he had a couple of his new releases, and the website's coming soon. So please check him out over at 13 and a Half clothing. He got mad at me. He was like, "Yo, it's not the brand, it's clothing company." So 13 and a Half company, man. Also want to give a big shout out to my boy Savion Gaynor over at Skydive Socks. He's making incredibly dope stuff too, just like me. So you want to go check him out, see if you can get yourself some fresh socks. Then also we want to give a big shout out to my people over at 91s.com. Cody Bromley's got the best acid wash apparel in the game. Then we want to give a shout out to our people over at Air We Are. If you're somebody that's struggling with your air conditioning needs over in the Middlesex County or even in New Jersey, please hit them up at Air We Are. They got some good deals, and they'll be able to get you back and running pretty soon. And then also finally want to give a shout out to Maria and also my boy Joe Snow over, they're really trying to build people to get their financial freedom and to have, these financial advisors on board as sponsors. It really puts me in a position to elevate my fan base out there. And for anybody out there that's trying to gain your financial freedom, please hit them up, and I'm sure they'll be able to put you on the right path to get where you're looking to go. And like I said, to have 7 sponsors here, we've come a long way. So, thank you all for being a part of this journey, and I can't wait to get started with this show. First things first, up on the books, we got the Los Angeles Dodgers, who won the World Series. I'm a big Mets fan, but I gotta tell you, man, it was just really good to see that the Dodgers won, because I'm a big fan of Mookie Betts. I love Mookie Betts. And then also with Clayton Kershaw, how, a lot of people deemed as one of the best regular season pitchers, right? And to be able to see that, he had success and was able to go forward and achieve the ultimate, championship in World Series, it's really a good story to one of the great good guys in the MLB, man. Clayton Kershaw's worked very hard. And even with that Dodger team who lost to eventual world champions for 4 straight years, and, it's tough, especially when you're continuously trying to get to that top platform and you're continuously knocked down. Most people would quit. Most people would trade teams. And, everybody within the Dodgers still believed in themselves. And I feel like everybody else out there can take a little bit of page out of the Dodgers book and say, hey, if no matter how many times we're going to get knocked down, this happens all the time with Warzone when we're playing, where, we just want to get one more game. Let's just play one more. We're going to get that dub. And I think that's kind of like what's the Dodgers embody with this MLB season, where, they had everything, all the offense, they finally had their pitching step up, and, they came back down from against the Braves. So it was definitely good to see the Dodgers win. I know the one thing that's kind of going to take away from, the highlight of the World Series, and that was with Justin Turner. Everybody's been hearing about how, Justin Turner got pulled midway through the World Series game and, had tested positive for COVID, and then was seen later celebrating on the field with his teammates without a mask, kissing his girlfriend. I mean, it's tough, man, because, it's hard to tell someone, how it is that they're supposed to celebrate, or what exactly, is the way that you're supposed to do it in that time frame, because I'm sure Justin Turner was just, as sad as it may sound that he had COVID, I'm sure he wanted to be out there and be a part of history. And, the reports are saying that, people did reach out to him and say, hey, you cannot be celebrating, and he, was adamant and gave attitude as to why he should be out there. And, it's tough, man. It's definitely tough, because I feel for Justin Turner. I feel for him, who probably can't go to the parade, or, probably shouldn't have been out there. But the fact of the matter is, he's still a champion. I wish him the best recovery. And, the main thing about this is that for a long time, we were worried and we were upset about the fact that we might not get an MLB season. And I feel like this one lived up to the hype. I mean, when your MLB, NLCS game, not even a World Series game, is getting more views than an NBA Finals game, in a time where we feel like baseball hasn't been progressive, or we're losing those traditionalist fans. I think this was a big World Series for baseball, and I'm glad to see that, they're back on top in those ratings. Definitely want to give a big shout out to my boy Angel, who's a big time 2K player on our Instagram live stream. Shout out to my brother Silvino, Ishabad Crane. We got Ethan Baer, Jennifer Carlson, Travis Urban, Zach Stockman on our Facebook live stream, Peter Dunn, who just signed into our Instagram live stream. So we got a lot of people here tuned in, and we actually had Angel who actually commented in, and he said, "Let's go Mets." And I think that that's a perfect segue, because you know I'm a big time Mets fan. You're going to see some of the fitteds that I copped a little bit later in the show. But I actually had a big time question come from my boy Brian Szpond, who I went to high school with, and I've really enjoyed, reconnecting with him. He's somebody that, reached out to me on Facebook and, really said about how much he's enjoyed the show, how much his wife, wants to get some shirts as well, too. And, it's that type of support from people that you least expect. I saw something on Facebook, and it said, or I think it was some meme or something. It said, the people that aren't, liking your posts, the people that aren't, necessarily always interacting with you are the ones that are paying the most attention. And I've really gone to see that over these past couple weeks where, I've had different people reach out to me that, I hadn't really talked to in a long time. And reconnecting with Brian has been something that I've really enjoyed, man, whether we're talking about fitteds or the Mets, which he had a question on right now. And he pretty much asked me, he said, what do I feel like with the Mets not trying to re-sign Todd Frazier and Wilson Ramos? And what I'll say with this is that Todd Frazier, when he was signed, midway through this season, I think that it was very difficult for the Mets, and when they were struggling and they really wanted some offensive power, and they signed Todd Frazier, but I just don't think that they really had Todd Frazier in their future minds, and he really was like a stopgap or a veteran Band-Aid per se. And then you have Wilson Ramos, who a lot of us were really happy about after that first year, where he was hitting, really clutch and he was doing really well. But, as we saw in the second half, or the second year, as Jeffrey said as well, that, he just didn't really live up to the hype. And I feel like with the Mets also changing ownership from the Wilpons now to Steve Cohen, I just really think that the Mets are going to start to really look to their future and really try to build this franchise to get to where they need to be. And I just feel like, with Todd Frazier and, Wilson Ramos both being older players, I just don't see them really working into the Mets' future plans, and even in a veteran leadership type of way. I just feel like the Mets have a lot bigger things in mind. And Angel said, we spending money. That's right. So, to spend that money, we can't waste that money, And I think that, Todd Frazier and Wilson Ramos, whether they're, beloved Mets for the time that they did put in, but, it's okay to relieve them of their services, all right? We got some other things on hand. And then, after that, I don't know how many of you guys got a chance, but did y'all see that Khabib fight last weekend? Oh, man! How can you not say this guy is one of the best fighters of all time, man? Let me tell you, yo. Let's put it this way. I think that a lot of times the greatness of Khabib can be overshadowed a little bit just because of the fact that he's absolutely finishing whoever's within his competition and within his range. I think we heard reports saying that even Khabib didn't want to hurt Justin Gaethje in front of his family or his parents, so he tried to go for a triangle choke, and that was his dad's favorite choke. I mean, how many people can really go into the ring and just pick off the whim how they're going to finish a guy, right? And I think that Khabib, he was recently named the top pound-for-pound fighter. Shout out to my Uncle Mickey on the Facebook live stream. But we have people like Angel here that says, is John Jones better? And that has been the common, argument per se that we've seen here with people that are going up and trying to dispute the fact that Khabib is the best pound-for-pound fighter. And when you look at the numbers, right? I mean, Khabib's had, 4 to 5 title defenses to John Jones's 15 or so title defenses. It's not hard to go with John Jones, who's somebody who's also faced a wide variety of opponents, and also he's faced some really good, people. I mean, to think that he took out, Daniel Cormier and a lot of these other people that stood between his path. I mean, it's hard not to agree that John Jones is the pound-for-pound fighter. But what people are trying to say, and which they're going with Khabib, is that, Khabib is such a clean, record. He hasn't been doping. He hasn't been blowing coke up the nose. He's been a stand-up guy for the most part. And I feel like for a lot of people, they will give Khabib that edge as far as that pound-for-pound fighter because he has that clean record. But pound for pound fighter is not a direct characterization of your morals and your belief systems. It's how well you're knocking people the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And when you're going for the pound for pound top fighter, I think that you got to put Jon Jones, or like my brother said, even Anderson Silva, somebody who held down that division for so long and has went into multiple weight classes and had, had success. I think that if Jon Jones really wants to, get that pound for pound spot back, I think that him moving up to the heavyweight position and trying to find success in a different weight class, it can definitely help him to get that pound for pound best fighter back. Because, not for nothing, Khabib has been undefeated. And, some people might say, well, he hasn't had the best competition fighting against him. But that's because of just how great this guy is, man. I mean, when you watch his fights, the guy has not lost a round. How can you not say that Khabib is one of the best ever? And yes, he probably is the top 3 in that category. But, I have to side with the numbers. And, Jon Jones may not have the best, character, or he may not have the most stellar morals or anything like that, or hasn't exactly represented himself. But, I definitely would put Jon Jones still up there as the top pound for pound fighter. 15-4. You can do the math. We both grew up in the in the era where everything is just so numbers based. So, for me, I gotta go with Jon Jones. I think that Khabib is definitely, if not Jon Jones, it is Khabib or Anderson Silva there. And like my boy Carl said too, you have Adesanya, who's moving himself up in the pound for pound rankings. But kind of similar to Khabib, I just feel like Adesanya, is kind of also overshadowed because he's been really, dismembering these guys and not even making them real fights. How many people can make Yoel Romero run around the ring because he's scared of them, right? So you got to put Adesanya up there too. I think if he continues to make a couple more title defenses himself, then you got to put him up there as well too. He's been, professionally fighting for a long time, and he's a well-renowned kickboxer. So, the pound-for-pound rankings is always going to be discretionary, and it's going to be what you define as the best pound-for-pound fighter. So, for me, it's numbers, and I got to go with Jon Jones. So I'll go Jon Jones, and then I'll put, my boy Khabib second. But it's close, because Khabib is, the way he just tires and drains the energy out of these people and just really doesn't even make fights competitive. You got to put him up there, man, and you got to give him his props. But also, if you didn't know, the big thing that we have going on this weekend is the Gervonta Tank Davis fight against Leo Santa Cruz. Oh my goodness! For boxing fans out there, we're getting treated like royalty here, right? We get Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez, and now we get Tank Davis fighting pretty much the next week against Leo Santa Cruz. And I think the main thing that we have to really look at with this is that Leo Santa Cruz has only just one loss, and this will be his 40th professional fight. And you have Gervonta Tank Davis, who's been undefeated. These are the type of fights that boxing needs to try and get that notoriety back. We talked last week about how, Teofimo Lopez was saying about how the best fighters need to fight the best fighters, right? And here we are starting to see that. And maybe if we see that, Gervonta Davis and, Leo Santa Cruz, it goes well, maybe that can kind of push for the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight. Maybe this can put the idea in these fighters that's saying, hey, I'm the best. I want to fight against the best. I want to create my legacy like Khabib did. Maybe not in that direct correlation, but Khabib was never afraid to fight the best guys. And I feel like in boxing, this is what we need to try and bring that notoriety back up. If you have a Lomachenko fight, like I said, which wasn't on pay-per-view, it was on free, right? It was on ESPN. You got to take advantage of that. And even though this fight is on pay-per-view, I definitely think this is one fight that everybody's going to have to check out because it's almost that representation of new school boxing. This is the new school type of boxing, and especially for people that are trying to get into it, this is the fight that you're going to want to see. And if you're going to ask me, I got to put my money on Tank, baby. That dude hits so hard, bro. Let me tell you. Before I get into the next segment, though, we have a question from my boy Angel here, and he said, "Yo, Barry, how do you feel about the Knicks picking up CP3?" And I'm going to tell you the same thing in the same, around the same realm as far as, when people ask me about whether I feel like they should get Russell Westbrook as well, too. Both of them are high-profile point guards. CP3, even though, he is at the, I guess you could say, the latter stages of his career, I mean, he's still just as effective, right? And I think that, in perspective, CP3 could help out the Knicks, right? If we're looking for him to, go out here and score 25, 20 points and do exactly what he did, towards the end on OKC, I just don't know if that's possible, And, with older people like that, it's hard to try and, it's hard to fit them into your future. I mean, if we take up CP3, do we really believe that CP3 can stay at a high level for 5 more years, right? Because that's probably, he's, as somebody who's an older guy, he's probably not going to want to sign for a 1-year deal. He's going to want that extension, or he's going to want that longevity to protect himself. And I just don't feel comfortable as a franchise that's trying to go in the right direction and trying to build around the young talent without, putting themselves in debt. I just don't see that CP3 and Russell Westbrook, fit into that equation of trying to get us to that next level. I mean, would it be nice to have? Of course, don't get me wrong. But as far as, us building for the future and trying to put around a winning team for not just 1 year, all right? I want to be a fan of the Knicks and actually be able to watch these games, for years and years to come. Even though they suck, I'm still going to watch. But we got to put out a better product that will put belief system back in our Knicks fan base. And, I just don't believe that CP3 nor Russell Westbrook can do that.
Let's get Cohen to buy the Knicks.
We do have the Nets who, how could I say? They've made kind of big news. Oh, we got Timmy Hugo. He said, "Where's that hoodie at?" It's right here, baby. Shout out to my boy Timmy Hugo over Ink Parlor who helped put this together, man. The OG6 looks so fresh, brother. But we have the Nets who have kind of made the news because of not just signing Steve Nash as their head coach, but they have signed Mike D'Antoni and Amari Stoudemire to be assistant coaches for them. And, I think that this hire is, it's for the glam. I just don't really see that this is the problem that I had with this from the beginning because, if you're the Brooklyn Nets, who's kind of like on a similar, I wouldn't say they parallel the Knicks because they did make the playoffs the past couple years, but they're kind of along that same path where they're trying to transition to being a force in the East, and they're trying to make themselves, formidable opponents, right? People that truly believe them as contenders. And if you're trying to do that, how can you believe that a first-year coach is going to do that, right? And I think that this D'Antoni signing is kind of like Jeffrey said, it's that backup or it's that security for them to say, hey, here we have a guy who has coached at the highest level before, and if anything goes awry, we have him as the backup. He can be able to kind of show Steve Nash the way, show him how to do things as the head coach. But like I said, I just don't know that either that whole entire, system, I just don't know if it's going to work or not. I mean, how Mike D'Antoni had problems with Carmelo Anthony in the past, had problems with some of the Knicks players when he was on the Knicks, and dealing with high personalities such as Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, who already said that they don't want to be coached, right? But what they forget is they're not the only people that play on the Brooklyn Nets. There's going to be other people that are playing in those Basquiat jerseys, right? And I just don't believe that Steve Nash, with the combination of Mike D'Antoni, who made this whole under 8 seconds fast, was it the offense that they had was supposed to be under 8 seconds or less back in the Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire era, and you just got to wonder, are they going to try and do those same things here in Brooklyn? And I just don't know if that time is right here in Brooklyn. And also the game has changed, right? I just don't know if that suits, and we've seen that it didn't work in Houston. So what makes you think it's going to work on the East Coast in Brooklyn, right? Shout out to my boy Kevin Rosa, who's got a big time birthday here on Facebook. Shout out to Kevin I love Boza, man. He's such a cool dude, and I have so much fun playing with on Warzone. We got a big-time dub on the last nighttime mode, which was really awesome. And I think that's a perfect segue because one of the things that we have seen, and we were actually mid-game here with Call of Duty at Warzone, and then I remember it got cut off because there was an update, and we're like, well, what the hell is this update? Like, we're trying to play. And I remember they had taken quads off to put in I think it's called Monster Quads we were playing for the last couple of days. And literally it was the same entire map on Call of Duty, but just at nighttime. And let me tell you guys, as a firm Call of Duty player, somebody that has 134 wins, it was very, very difficult to make that adjustment to nighttime Call of Duty. I actually had to pull out a thermal scope, which was something I've never used ever before, right? And I was able to have success. We were able to get, I think, 4 or 5 wins on the nighttime mode. But as somebody who's going to try and review that mode, I'm going to have to say, like, it definitely made me, I feel like, a better shooter because when it came back to the daytime, I was putting up 9 and 10 pieces like it was nothing, right? But, I have a couple of my friends who haven't been a fan of that nighttime mode, but, it's just something that you're going to have to get, try for yourself if you're a Warzone player out there. I personally wasn't a fan of it. I couldn't wait until they took it off. We were going back to shooting in the daytime, so that was good, but you're definitely going to want to check it out. I know the Halloween, whatever theme for Call of Duty is going to be going for the next couple days. I think it's like 4 or 5 days left. So definitely give yourself a chance to try out that night mode. Pull out that thermal scope and see how it works for you. Shout out to my boy Kafense Bud, who he was talking on my stream earlier, and he was talking about just how close we are to being Twitch affiliates. He's a Twitch affiliate, and I'm very close too. But one of the things that I've really enjoyed is building this Twitch community, and we have a lot of people that are requesting the merch from Bazooka Barry Gaming, so that's going to be on the horizon too. So there's great things, and video games is definitely one of the things that I've really enjoyed over the years, and I've always been a gamer, going back to the PlayStation, going back to the Sega Genesis, and it's never. It never ceases to amaze me just how far we've come as a gaming community and just how better the quality games are. I remember I told everyone out there, shout out to Naya, she said, I hate the scare boxes. Yeah, for those people out there that don't know, when you're looting the game in Call of Duty, a lot of times you loot boxes to try and get guns, get ammo, that and such. And what they did for the Call of Duty is they put scare boxes in there where right out of nowhere, like as you open it, some like ghost or something will pop up and it'll go, ooh, like this on you. And when you're playing at nighttime, when you're half asleep trying to, make it in the circle, that's the worst thing that you want to see is a scare box. So I'm with you, Naya. I'm not a part of that as well, so I don't like them either.
Wake you right up.
Right? But one of the things I definitely wanted to talk about, and I know Angel, I want to see what he has to say about this, but, I definitely got a chance to see some of the new next-gen 2K21 footage, and boy, am I impressed with the visuals, man. I can't wait to play this game on PS5 or Xbox X Series. I'll probably get it for X Series, but man, the visuals in that game are tough. And I think that, as we are switching and as we're going on in these years and as we're going to 2021, what we now see is that, 2K has upgraded their package, and now we have a WNBA My Player, right? So you now can finally play as a female player and take her in the WNBA circuit. Naya said, I'm ready for it. My boy Ishabad Crane said he might have to make LaQuisha Treadwell, man. I mean, as somebody who loves My Player, I may be tempted to make a female character because, the whole overall game between girls basketball and men's basketball, even though it's the same game, it's definitely a different game. And I'm just really interested to see how 2K is going to be able to translate that to the consoles and really make that accessible for everyone. And I think this is big for the WNBA because hopefully it can get some notoriety to that league and try and get more people to watch out there. I tell you what, I got a big crush on that girl Tia Cooper on LA Sparks. So if she ever sees this, come holla at me, girl. But let me tell you, that 2K21 is going to be really, really dope. And I think it's going to be really big for the WNBA, the fact that they're highlighting these women. And hopefully we'll start to see even maybe with FIFA. Maybe we can see FIFA have a female My Player. My boy Jeff said, no dunking, please. Unless you're Brittany Griner, right? But real quick, definitely have a couple more topics for you guys before I get into this beer review. But as you guys all know, I'm a huge fitted connoisseur. And we had some really great releases over the past couple days, and I really want to share them with you here. So real quick, let me go get these hats real quick. Hold up. But real quick, I was able to get some real good purchases, and I tell you this, a lot of times, and some of my friends, they're really big with this, right? Hat Club has some really dope exclusives, all right? They got some really dope stuff, but I feel like a lot of times some people get a little bit caught in the hype, and they're afraid to venture to other places to see if you can get some other dope hats. And mind you, I love Hat Club. I'm one of the biggest supporters of Hat Club. But there are other great places that you can get some hats from, man. And, let me tell you, New Era actually just released some really dope hats, and I was able to get a couple from the exclusives. Sold out in less than 10 minutes, but, I want to kind of get your guys' take on it and see if you guys like it. So if anybody's tuned in, we're going to play Hot or Not again. If you think the hat is hot, put it in hot, all right? Say that it's hot. If you think it's not, give it the thumbs down and let me know what you think. This one right here is one of my favorites. I mean, this came out for the Halloween edition. This is a Mets New Era exclusive with the orange bottom, man. Let me tell you, it's so hot, I might have to put it on right now, man. I tell you, this has been one of my new favorite hats, man. And, to be festive and to get here in the mode and to have New Era, who's also getting along with the different colored under brims as well, too. I think they're putting out some really dope stuff, man. So this is one of my favorite new hats that I got right now. It's the Mets Halloween edition, New Era exclusive. So, hopefully if you got a chance to, I'm glad you did get that. If not, you got to stay tuned and see, what releases are coming out so that you can be able to cop. This next one that I got is another new Mets hat. Oh. It looks like almost like a comic book cloud here. And we have it with the icy gray underbrim, very nice gray underbrim. And it says Mets on the back, all right? So we got them saying it says Mets on the back. And then also on the side, which is one of my favorite parts of this, it says approved by the New York Mets, right? So a lot of the times you think like, are these hats, like, are these really dope? Like, are, they really going hand in hand with, the teams that are making it? So, this is one of my favorite hats as well, too, that I just got from the Mets collection. Came from New Era, got the icy gray brim. Whew, I don't know which one I like better. Now, another one that I was able to get, and this is one that I'm going to tell you, I am a huge fan of minor league teams. And me and my boy Lou were talking about this, and we were saying about how the creativity with minor league teams is so awesome. You get so much dope stuff that are coming out because they have the freedom to do so, right? And we saw that the Lakewood Blue Claws have changed their name to the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. That's the Phillies affiliate. So I was able to get one of the last Lakewood Blue Claws hats from their actual store. And this is the Lakewood Blue Claws hat, official, before they changed their name to the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. It does have a black underbrim. They call them the Black Nasties, but, all brims matter, okay? Don't just like pink brims. Don't just like blue brims. Like what you like, all right? And I tell you what, this hat right here is one of, I like this, man. It's got the Jersey symbol. I'm a big Jersey guy. So, I'm definitely a fan of that one. But, as you all know, I do love Hat Club. Shout out to Hat Club. They actually had a really, they gave all insider access today for people on the wine collection. So, me, Pete, Theo, I think we were able to secure that. So, big shout out to Hat Club because they are putting out some dope stuff. But one of the things that I've been critical on Hat Club about has been, we haven't really seen too much creativity or too much of the different colored brims with our minor leagues, right? And, I was really happy with the release that they put out a couple, maybe, I think it was like last week, where they added some patches and some colored brims to some really dope minor league hats. So this one right here is actually called the Missoula Paddleheads. Alright? This one is sick. And it has the pink underbrim.
That's Bullwinkle.
I'm telling you, this one was something when I saw that, when it dropped and when they were able to put the minor league on there for us and give us a pink brim, I was like, man, I gotta get this one, man. So, I really, really do like this hat. I really like what Hat Club has done in trying to highlight the minor league teams and give them a little bit of flair too. I mean, the pink brim is tough, man. And we've seen other places try and replicate the pink brim, but to get that from Hat Club, man, woo! Let me tell you. Naya said, did you like the strawberry lemonade hats? Yo, I think they're actually called the pink lemonades, Naya, but I did pre-order my pink lemonade hat. I believe they said that is going to be shipped out in January. So that's going to be coming out pretty soon. And for people that don't know, the pink lemonade was the yellow hat, white logo, or a pink logo, depending on the team, with the pink underbrim. And I definitely had to get that one, Nia. That was one that I had to secure. But this hat right here, I'm telling you, this is my favorite one out of all the ones that I just picked up in the drops. This is the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp with the pink underbrim. All right, this is a minor league team. It has our Hat Club thing. But this is my favorite part here. It has the Southern League patch, all right? We haven't really seen too many minor league teams with patches. So to have them on this with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp and a pink brim, that was an absolute no-brainer for me. I had to scoop that one. So, I'm really happy in the direction the Hat Club is going. The hat, especially with the hat community. I've started my own page with Catmaster B, and to see that grow and to see different people's collections and, just how much worth these hats really have from being sold out in less than 3 or 4 minutes. It's been a dope ride, man. And I just remember the first hat that I got, back in 2007, man. That's a long time, back when we used to go to Lids for hats. And to see the game change to where now hat releases are just like sneaker releases, I'm just happy to be a part of the culture, man. So I'm just really happy about that. And then finally, before we go, I have one real message to give to you guys out there too before we get into our beer review. But I have here my card that says thank you for voting, all right? I had a conversation with my boy, what's his name, Dr. Glex. And, we really we were going back and forth, and he's telling me, it doesn't matter if I don't vote. I don't like these guys. I'm not going to vote. And let me tell you this. As an American citizen, it is your right to go and vote. Everyone needs to exercise that right. Because let me tell you, and I had a problem with this before because, one of the people that I was with back in the day, they were adamant as well, too, about not voting. And let me tell you, when you do not vote, you add more power and more value to the next person that did vote. So now that vote that they had that may not even be what you like, right? That vote is now heightened because you didn't give yourself a platform. That's like me coming here, having this show, and just not utilizing it, right? That's something that you got to stay away from. And, if it means you got to go in the polls and go put in your vote, you got to go do that because it is your American birthright. And that's something that is very necessary as far as shaping the futures of what we live in. You have so many people that are critical of people, critical of politics and critical of things in a way that are not going their way. But yet those are the same people that don't go out and vote. You have to dictate your future, right? You have to be able to find things and fully take research, right? Don't just check something off just because you don't like something, right?
Facts.
Put in the research. See what you feel. See the type of direction that you would like this country to go in, and then just put that vote in, man. I'll tell you right now, I'm glad that I did. So regardless of what happens, I can at least say that, hey, I tried my best and put my God-given right up to make sure that this place is going in the way that I would like it to go. So my parting message, like my boy Carl said, please make sure you go out and vote. I did. I think you need to too. It's something that's very, very, very important. All right? And in closing, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Talk That Talk show. I love coming out here each and every week. And I love delivering you guys a quality show. I mean, if it wasn't for this show, man, I don't know where I'd be at right now. This show has given me hope. And each and every one of you that keeps coming in each and every week, and you give me your time, and you believe in me, it just further breathes life into my body. And like I said, it just validates all the reasons why I try to put together a nice show for you guys and try to put together merchandise so that you can feel comfortable in and that you can, feel a part of this, man. This is more than just a podcast, man. This is a lifestyle. This is a culture. This is people that believe in that blue-collar work ethic that my boy Jose showed on our Instagram, right? People that believe in working hard, people that dream big, and people that aren't afraid to do the necessary things to make those dreams a reality. That's what this whole Talk That Talk show is about. This personifies that blue-collar work ethic, man, like we talked about before. So, I want to thank everybody that helps to make this vision a reality, right? And somebody that is a part of that is VW Liquors. And we have such a great partnership to where we're able to, put together discounts for everybody else that comes in to go, shop for some beer. And I can give you guys some quality beer reviews so you can check it out and maybe try them yourself. So I'm a man of the people, and this show is for the people, all right? And for the people I have for you today, we have a nice beer here, and it's called the Bull Liner Vice Charged, all right? And like I said, we have a couple check marks for good beer to see if it's something that we like. And off the rip, look at the color in this beer, man. Look at the body. I know before we talked about fruitier beers and they have a little bit more of a color. Shout out to, the nice Talk That Talk show mug that we have here as well, too. But, this beer has a Berliner style Weiss ale. So it's a nice ale. It's not going to hit you as hard, but it's still going to be light enough to where you feel it, right? And then we have the Berliner style Weiss ale with strawberry and guava. I mean, when you put strawberry and guava together, that is a great combination. My boy Mark says that it looks like candy corn. Let me tell you guys, this is going to be a beer that you're going to want to check out and try and see if you can get in your beer stores, all right? So, if you have your beer, if you have your drink, if you have your liquor, whatever you feel comfortable with, please put your drink up. And hey, let's have a drink together on Friday night. Cheers, guys.
Bull Liner Vice Charged by Bolero. You can find this at VW Liquors, located at Wick Plaza.
Nice. Guys, strawberry and guava, I mean, I'm going to have a hard time not drinking all of these tonight, let me tell you, because, the strawberry and the guava, they complement each other so well. They're definitely distinguishable tastes, right? I can definitely taste the strawberry in this, but at the same time, I get that guava on the aftertaste, right? So I have to say, I got to give this a 10 out of 10, man. We've had a little bit stronger beers the last couple weeks, so this one is definitely a little bit more refreshing of a beer than the last ones that we reviewed. So, again, might have to take another sip. Here we go. Woo! Woo-wee! I told you, I was not lying, guys. I chugged this whole beer because that is how good this beer is, man. Woo! Please, if you get a chance, check out the Bull Liner Vice Charged beer, all right? It's a really good beer. It's going to be something that you're going to like, all right? But thank you all so much for tuning into this show.
Talk that talk!
If you get a chance, we only have extra larges, mediums left in the OG6. We have sold over $700 worth of hoodies in 2 hours, guys.
Get your hoodie.
We are almost sold out, man. Oh, my gosh. The support that you guys give me on each one of these releases, it just means the world to me, guys. I mean, how can I not be humbled? How can I not leave here with a full heart? How can I not leave here with a full soul and a great positive mind because of all the things that you guys continue to do for me, man? And you continue to come in and tune into the show. You continue to support the merch. And you continue to rep the merch proudly, man. I mean, I don't want it, not just anybody can get a shirt. You can't just get an OG4. You can't just get an OG1, right? Select people and people that are loyal to this show are the ones that have access to these shirts and these releases, man. And the fact that, people consistently come and we're putting together great things, man. I mean, oh, man. I'm just so humbled, man. And I stand before you today, guys, as just a full heart, man. So thank you to everybody that continues to tune into this show. Thank you to everyone that supports me. Thank you for believing in me, guys. Thank you for believing in this vision, because I'm not going to let you down. This is a show that you can believe on each and every week, and it's something that you can count on, that you can get, right? So thank you, as always, to VW Liquors, located in Wick Plaza, Edison, New Jersey. Let's go, Mets! Let's go, Mets! We always do that for Dave at the end of the show. We love Dave. We love Caroline. We love Neva, Gabe Azzarello, Tim, all the people over there at VW Liquors, Crystal Dice. Love them so much. Got to give a shout out to my boy Savion Gaynor over at Skydye Socks. He's killing it in the sock game, man. Please hit him up. Get yourself some socks, man. For show. All right? Also want to give a shout out to Ink Parlor. My boy Tim Hugel hooked me up with the dope OG6s. I got myself a hoodie. I got my own hoodie. Shout out to Ink Parlor for that, man. I got my own hoodie, and we're already sold out almost in the first day. Come on, son. If you don't believe in that, if you don't believe in me, come on, bro. The numbers don't lie. Woo! Thank you, Ink Parlor, for putting that vision into fruition. Ooh, we gotta write that down. Vision into fruition.
Wrote it down.
Also, we gotta give a big shout out to Air We Are. Anybody that needs the air conditioning needs, please hook them up over at Air We Are. Also, want to give a shout out to 13 and a half clothing company. 12 jurors, 1 judge, half a chance, man. That's a powerful message, and that's what 13 and a half clothing company. They just got themselves a new logo. My boy Angelo's doing really big things over there, so please check him out. Also want to give a big shout out to 91s.com. They got the best acid wash apparel in the game. My boy Cody Bromley, always doing big things, man. And then finally, shout out to my girl Maria and Joe Snow over there trying to give people their financial freedom that they're looking for. These guys are working hard. They have, the knowledge and the capabilities to help you get to where you want to go financially. So please hit them up. See if you can get yourself a quote and get that financial freedom that you're looking for. So, thank you so much to everybody that continues to tune into the show each and every week. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you all out there, man. Another great episode in the books. I'm going to go get this edited out. Keep researching and keep trying to do things to make the show pop and give you guys what you want to hear, because this show is for the people. I truly believe that. And, like I said, in parting, the only words of advice I can say to you this week is I'll bring it back to one little story. I promise this is my last thing, and then I'm going to be off here. But, last week, me and my brother, we had 3 or 4 straight weeks where we won in bowling, right? We were killing it. And last week, we wound up getting our first loss, and we got swept. And I told you guys before, getting swept is the worst feeling. It's like, just getting dirt rubbed on your face or something like that, man. It's an awful feeling. And, we got smoked. There's no question, ifs, ands, buts about it. We got smoked. But, afterwards, the guy came up to me and he's like, "Hey, Barry, do you mind if I give you some advice?" And this is a guy who I have no rapport with. I'm not a big... I was like, whatever, dude. He seems so intent on giving me this advice. And he's like, "You know what? You just seem like you're throwing it like an egg, man. You're not throwing it hard, And what people don't understand is, your game is specific to your game, right? What someone else might do might not work for me. And after this guy had just smoked us, right? My brother said he meant well, and I understand that. But there's also a time and place for everything, and there's also a certain energy that comes with the type of advice some people might give. And if this was so moved by him, if he felt so moved that he had to give me this advice, why didn't he give me this advice in the first frame? Why didn't he give it to me in the second game? He waited till after we got smoked to give me this advice after I had a better score than him in the third game. So generally speaking, if somebody's going to give me advice, I tell you what, if Dennis Ward gives me advice, I'll listen to it. If Kevin Harity gives me advice, I'll listen to it. If Ed Bolkovich gives me advice, I'll listen to it. These guys are 220 bowlers, 230 bowlers up. You got some guy underneath 200 trying to give me advice when I made thousands of dollars with this right arm. It just felt so crazy to me, you know? And I know he might not have come from the right place or whatever, but there's some certain way that I took it as like, you know, I thought that, you know, the energy just wasn't there, right? And I just felt as though like he was almost like kicking someone when they're down. But little does he know that he just woke up the beast, man. For the first time this season, after that, I went to practice, man. And I tell you what, the next time he sees me, I'm going to have some advice with him. Don't play with me and pup up, all right? That's what I got to say in closing.
Don't tug on Superman's cape.
Don't tug on Superman's cape. Pup up and buck up, all right? I love you all. This is the Talk That Talk show.
Talk that talk.
Don't kick someone when they're down, because when they stand up, they're going to come back up fighting, man. I promise you. I can't wait to get that little Rocco Martin life looking dude, man. We're going to beat him, man. I promise you that. And you know what? I'll have some advice for him. Pump up. All right? I love you all. I see you guys next week.
See you on the 78th episode next week.
The 78th episode is next week. Try and get these OG6s while you can.
Want to have something special.
Because they're going closed. See you later.